Welcome to Digital Asset News Clips, where we take advancements in cryptocurrency and digital assets and bring it out of bite-sized pieces. So today we've got a pretty interesting project to cover, and I think this is going to be one of the great ones, and I'll explain in a second. So this all comes about from an advancement or a story we had talked about a couple of weeks ago, where Charles Hoskinson and IOHK came out and said, hey, we are going to partner up with the government of Ethiopia and provide digital ID through Atla to bring this to different parts or different countries in the continent of Africa. And they're going to partner up with a company called World Mobile to bring internet service and cellular service to these regions, which are underserved and unbanked and everything else. And it was a great story, and we kind of glanced over it, and really not too much came about it because it sounds great. And this was the actual article. New partnership. Project aims to provide 5G internet access and give customers a blockchain-based platform they can use to verify their identity, digital ID. It also aims to bridge the gap between unbanked and financial products like credit, insurance, and loans. And this to me initially sounded like a pretty great project. First of all, to do good, and then also to do well, which are two of the things I like to do if I can get away with it. So when I took a deeper dive into it, this is the project itself. And we had a couple of people reach out to us from World Mobile. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk to the CEO in a little bit. But I want to give you an overview about what this project is and why I think it could be something big. So World Mobile, you have to understand, first of all, is that there is really two parts to what World Mobile, not what they're doing, but how they're doing it. So first, they're trying to lay out infrastructure. And second of all, they're trying to build up blockchain, which is the World Mobile Token, or WMT. So this is, I can pretty much sum it up all about like this. They did a case study in a small village in Tanzania. And the question is, as you're looking at this video right here, how do you get mobile service to a remote fishing village in the middle of nowhere? Because it costs way too much money to do this if you're a mobile carrier. And then these people, they just, they don't have the ability to have the basics of what we just say is like, the common state, which is cellular service and internet. So this is what World Mobile did. So there's the fiber optics they already have from their local partner. They can get a fiber optic out there, right? But the problem is how do you give it to every single house out there? Because it's not like, setting up internet service here in the States. So this is what they did. The fiber optic cable is already there, local partners. And then what they do is, as it's coming forward, you're going to see this picture, this image come up in a second. And what this is as they're erecting it, there's two things. Let me blow this up so you can see it. You see right there on the left-hand side, you can't see my mouse, unfortunately, on top of the hut, those are solar panels. And then what they're erecting right there, as they're pushing this over, this is an air node. And what this allows them to do is to create internet service and cellular service in a mesh network, because they're going to erect a bunch of these throughout the village, and it's going to create a mesh-like service. So here's the question then. So who is going to provide that? Who's going to buy those expensive solar panels and those AirPods and everything else? Well, good news, or air nodes, excuse me. Good news is that World Mobile goes in there and says, look, we're going to provide this to you, and you're going to use these services, and we're also going to back it up with blockchain, which are with our World Mobile Token, and we're going to have air nodes and earth nodes. So it's really a twofer, a two-part. They do all the infrastructure, and then they lay out the blockchain, so you can get services such as cellular, internet, education, and healthcare on the blockchain. So I thought it was a pretty amazing thing. And to me, in my brain, there's a couple of things. First of all, I think to myself, well, why would you do that, first of all? Well, it's the same thing here in like the States or UK or Canada, or wherever else you are. Usually for cable services, they lay all the fiber optics, and they go all to the different houses, and they do all that. And the reason is because they know, hey, later on you're going to need this service, and they'll provide that. So you're not paying for the initial setup cost. Well, there's initial setup, to your house, but there really isn't just to get the infrastructure in there. So it's the same thing here with World Mobile. And what's great about that is that they're like, well, look, we can build this into the infrastructure. And of course, because there's no banking services, because this is the underserved and the unbanked, we got you covered here with our World Mobile Token on the blockchain. So it's like a win-win for everybody. Let's just bypass the junk banking sector, which eats you up in fees and costs and everything else, and we'll just go right to blockchain. Sure, makes sense. So this is essentially what it is in a nutshell. So I'm just going to skip ahead to the case study, and this is what they talked about as far as that image we just saw in Tanzania. It was just a small fishing village, around 200 people, and they were able to connect everybody through those air nodes, and they made a mesh network of internet and cellular service. Makes sense, right? So the local partner put in the fiber optics. Unlicensed spectrum connects to multiple air nodes, creating a mesh network. And this is Mickey Watkins, who we're going to talk to in a little bit. Here's a CEO, and he says, our solution will not only turn a profit for World Mobile, but the villages that connect themselves will also thrive. Because also on top of that, the solar panels that they give to these villages and to these areas, and as they expand, they're going to be able to use those solar panels to sell back electricity or provide electricity into those villages and those areas. So again, you're going to be able to power up these nodes, and you're going to be able to give electricity to that area with these solar panels. And this is the same type of thing that you can see in a lot of different places. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He said, we did the same thing in Hawaii, where they did a massive amount of solar panels, and you were able to actually use that and then sell those solar panels, that electricity, back to the company itself. So I think that is pretty cool. To finish up, the air nodes are owned and operated by the fishermen, and this is a dichotomy here. Those air nodes and those solar panels, they can be by the local businesses, in this case the fishermen, or it can be obtained and run by the entire village. It is up to that area and how they want to do things. So I think it's a pretty democratic way to do these such things. You can earn rewards instantly for calls, texts, and data that run through the nodes. Makes sense. And of course, you get the digital ID. The fishermen have decentralized digital IDs, creating access to a bunch of services like loans, online banking, healthcare. And that's the thing. And this is the things I don't really think about, because if I want to grow my business, I just go to the bank and just say, hey, I need a loan because I want to build, another section to my business. Here, that's really where things grow. I always like to not use my own money. I just like to use other people's money for my businesses. And if you can't do that as a business owner, you kind of get stifled, and it's much harder to move ahead. Even if you're like a fisherman, you're like, hey, I got one net, I'd like to buy another net so I can double my revenue. Where are you going to get that as far as a loan? Well, here you go. And then the case study goes on and says the fishermen now have access to Wi-Fi, connect their phones to the World Mobile Network, make it possible to learn with news. Using our app, villagers will be able to be on top of credit in local shops to make low-cost calls locally and internationally. And after a year, because this has been going on for quite some time, the local fishermen have grown their businesses, quintupled their profits, and tripled their shops and bars. So this is essentially what they're doing. That is the infrastructure. Now let's talk about the actual token. This is World Mobile Token. And right now, before I go on, I will just say this. If you're in the United States or in Canada, it's going to be, you're not going to be able to do this. But as time goes on, I want to bring this to your attention now, because I think this could be something great later. Other parts of the world, Australia and everything like that, take a look at this. And, there may be some other ways for you to do it, but as far as me as American, KYC, AML, not allowed. But I do like this project. So there are two types of nodes. There are the air nodes we just talked about, which is for the local. Then there's the earth nodes. And the earth nodes, if you're aware of like how Theta works, you have your small nodes, your validators, and then you have like your enterprise, the ones that like Google has. Well, you're going to be the big guy. You're going to be the earth node. So in the air nodes, they get rewards through all the transactions. And then as an earth node operator, you get the rewards for transactions on the blockchain, as well as the inflationary part of the token. But it is actually deflationary as time goes on. So in the beginning, just like everything, as the ones that get in early are the ones that are going to be sitting pretty nice if you get in at the earliest of times. So as an Earth node operator, you'll secure a network and earn WMT, World Mobile Token. And then what you can do with it, you can obviously stake it. You can transfer peer-to-peer online or make payments, and that will be the payment structure, World Mobile Token. And guess what? It's built on the Cardano Foundation, so this will be a native token for Cardano. And you can cover calls, text, data usage, online services. So all that great stuff, and looking pretty good. Here's the tokenomics. There's 2 billion max supply. I don't think that's a lot to ask for, considering the fact that you have 4 billion people who do not have access to cellular service and the internet. So this could be massive. And that's the thing, like some of these projects, they're just so big, they're very ambitious. And if they take hold, I mean, watch out. So this is what's cool about it. They're releasing 10% into circulating supply, or 200 million only first. The rest will be released over 20 years. So it's not a bunch of people just hanging on to it and just dumping as time goes on. This is a real sustainable thing. And when we talk to Mickey, you're going to see exactly why that is. So Mickey, the CEO. Stake tokens to become an EarthNode operator. You'll earn rewards on a daily basis on your honest participation. Do well, then do good. Or do well, then do good. Do good, then do well. Distribution breakdown. So here's how it all breaks down for the tokens. Remember, it's 10% in the beginning, and then it's released over 20 years. So the node operators, 29%. Co-founders, 19%. Again, over 20 years. Partnerships, private sale, early staking, operation fund, so on and so forth. Advisors, 5.9. Community fund, 2. And incentive rewards, 3%. So you can see it's pretty well broken down pretty simply. And then we've got the inflation over time. Of course, in the beginning, when we talked about those Earth nodes, we saw that those are where the rewards come from. So in the beginning, it is pretty high as far as inflation, but over time, over months, I mean, you see like it's very deflationary. So just be aware. You can pre-stake and get 10% extra. If you're into that, then you can actually do that. So sure. And then the team advisors, I'm gonna get to that last. The team, and I'm gonna have Mickey talk about those. And you know, on this channel, I'm a big investor in people. You get the right people with the right history and the right abilities, and you can make anything work. And I think this is a really solid team. And then lastly, we'll go into the FAQ. So how much is required to stake an EarthNode, right? 100,000, just so you know. When will I receive it? After you've created your vault. What's a vault? It's an encrypted home for your personal information, email, identity. But remember, this is built on the Cardano Foundation and the Cardano blockchain. What's the conversion rate? The conversion rate is calculated when you are at the front of the queue and click buy tokens. Again, this is the pre-sale and everything else. We can't do that, but you can sign up just by clicking on the buy tokens and off you go. And then when will the mainnet be launched? Q4 2021 to Q1 2022. So that is exactly around the time that Cardano is going to be releasing those smart contracts. So I think it's going to be a great time. Which wallets are supported? You must use a Cardano wallet that supports native tokens such as Daedalus or Yoroi. We do not support Cardano addresses from exchanges. Great. If you're looking for a video on how to use those wallets, just go to Dan Teaches Crypto, click on ADA Staking, and you'll find exactly out how. And then, yeah, that's it. That's the last part. So then this is the team. And Mickey's been in telecommunications for 20 years. And this is a $1 trillion industry. Alan, Andrew Soper, RJ, and all these guys, KTOs and CTOs and developers and everything that you want to have to make a business run. So I'm going to let Mickey talk to you about those guys. And just to finish up, I think this is a pretty fantastic project. And full transparency, when I can get in, I will get into this project. So let's talk to Mickey. All right, everybody. So we took a look exactly what World Mobile actually is, and how things are kind of integrating, and some of the tokenomics and everything else. So what I did was I reached out to Mickey Watkins. He is the CEO, and I brought him on just to talk to us about exactly what is going on with this project. But more importantly, because statistically, if you're watching this video, you're from US, Australia, Canada, UK, and different parts. So we really don't know the struggles that are going on globally with people who are not connected. So Mickey, give us like a 1,000-foot overview about what is going on as far as the underserved, underbanked, and underprivileged for telecommunications.
Okay, so half the world's connected. 3.7 billion people are not. There's 1,000 mobile network operators connecting the already connected, and there's 0 connecting the unconnected. Big tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Microsoft, they've managed to reach that far, but there's been a problem with sustainability. And this has left half the world offline and disenfranchised, and the other side, the wrong side of the digital divide. What does that mean for you? It means that without internet, life is very difficult to live. Without internet, it's like you can't check your emails, you can't check health, you can't further yourself. There's nothing quick can happen. You can't register your land. What we found is that by giving people internet, they all of a sudden start to develop in a different pace than you could ever imagine. When you give people internet and then you give them ID on top of the internet, then we're in a position where they're able to access the same services and the same tools that we don't even understand that we have. There's a stark contrast here. You've got us in the connected world that carry our phones, sleep with our phones, sleep with it next to the bed. We're consistently connected. The mobile network operator knows everything that we do. We've even almost sold out for to be connected in the conquest to have a faster internet. On the other side of the world, no one's connected. So we're trying to bridge that. We're trying to bring that to become closer and to bridge that digital divide and to allow people to be strong and have the same services, to the same set of tools, the same access to the same set of tools and services we have.
Yeah, it's amazing because, like, I mean, I don't realize it myself. And when I listen to Charles Hoskinson talk about it, he goes, look, he goes, in parts of Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, everybody that's over there, they don't have access to a lot of different financial institutions and things that we just take for granted and just, you know, connectivity. He goes, so what we're going to do is we're going to set them up with blockchain, and they're just going to leapfrog this middle part and just go to where we all should be anyhow. So, like, when I saw this, I'm like, well, this is a pretty good partnership. So Mickey, just talk us through real quick about how the idea came about, and then just a little bit of history, and then we'll go into the whole team. Because on this channel, I always talk about the same thing. You know, dollar cost average, invest in people, and things usually work themselves out. So just real quick, Mickey, tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Sure. So I've been in telecommunications for the last 20 years. For the last 6 or 7 years, I've been concerned about our privacy and the way that mobile network operators operate. Telecoms is tanking, revenues are falling, and mobile operators are having to find a way to further monetize their customer base. For us, we don't find that acceptable. And we also see that this is because the market is massively saturated with too many players, but yet there's the other half of the world that's unconnected. So as I was searching, how would I bring privacy solutions to the world, and how would people, you know, adopt these? I realized that we're not really prepared to give up the things that we've got. There's certain messengers or the OTT apps. But if we come to Africa, in particular, with sub-Saharan Africa, with more than 1 billion people, and less than 200 million connected, less than 800 million people unconnected. It's a lot of people. I would be able to fix 2 wrongs. 1, self-data governance and economic freedom of choice. And 2, the ability to deliver a model that could connect the unconnected and give a brand new world to those that didn't have internet before.
Makes a lot of sense. And this is the thing where there's 2 types of people that I think will be excited about this project. The one side would be the people who are like, you know what, this is going to change a lot of people's lives, and this is good. And the other people could be like, you know what, I'm getting on the ground floor. This sounds like a good type of business. Again, this is a financial opinion, not a financial advice. Do your own research, or just use some of mine that we go through. So it makes a lot of sense. So Mickey, thanks for answering that part. The bigger thing, though, is tell us about your team. Tell us how we're going to get there. Because, I mean, these are all great ideas. And it looks like you've already established a couple of different ones there in Africa. Tell us about your team and how you're going to build and scale.
So we're starting in East Africa because the demand is the most. That's where the people need it the most. But we're also starting there because we're very strong. We're strong on a regulation level when we're strong on a deployment level. These are 2 skills that you need to have massively if you want to create a new type of mobile network that nobody's succeeded in creating before. So on the core team, we have an incredible CTO, Antonio Hernandez. He's responsible for developing one of the most used campsites in the world, huge loads. He's also the former developer of the Euro Millions website. We have Javi Santos. He is also our tech lead, has a lot of experience with digital identity. We have, as you can see there on the left-hand side, we've got RJ. So RJ is actually based in East Africa. He rolled out with Microsoft using their TV Whitespace project. He has connected hundreds and hundreds of schools, built a mesh network with World Mobile that's connected 3 universities, over 60,000 people. You've got Andrew Soper on the top right there. He is Mr. Renewable Energy in East Africa. with the X Prize project. He's built everything and has been a major provider for backup battery for mobile network operators on the ground. So we have the renewable energy, which is core. We have the people that can lay down the mesh infrastructure, which is core. We have Alan Omnet, which you're hovering over there. He's our COO. Everything sticks with Alan. He's developed solutions for over 100 different companies, Hertz, Virgin Mobile, and many others. You have me and you have my brother Josh, and we've been in telecoms for a long time. And the rest of the team is just as proficient and incredible as us. You've got David, if you scroll down, and Vinay, the Payeer brothers. You've got Chris Watson. He's an advisor to the World Bank. On the left-hand side there, you've got Slim Aluni. He's the pioneering the next generation of telecoms in university. He's a doctor. On the right-hand side there, you've got Mamadou Traore, René Posson. I mean, this is a team of people who have been involved in telecommunications and the corporate commercial side and rollout side for the last 20 years, the forefathers. And we all combined, we all have one mission. That is to solve a problem that is the world's biggest problem, connect the unconnected.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, right? If we can just get a lot of the people that we surround ourselves with is not a guarantee for success, but it can show us pretty much where we're going to go and potentially head to. All right, Mickey. Well, listen, I don't want to take too much of your time. I just wanted to get in here and just talk about a great project. It's great to actually give back and to actually do well. Do good, then do well, right? That's what we talk about. And then we do the same thing here, Digital Asset News. We have our D News stake pool, and every epic for the Cardano staking, we put 100 ADA into kiva.org to give for microloans in Sub-Saharan Africa, Central America, and South America. So it's a good thing. I think we can do both at the same time. Anyhow, Mickey, any last words of wisdom for everybody?
Yes, definitely. I've been involved in commercial telecommunications as well, like I said, for the last 10 years, bridging borders, finding effective ways. The one thing that I've realized is that the institutions and the mobile network operators alone cannot fix this problem. It's too big. We need to introduce a sharing economy, and the sharing economy starts on the ground in Tanzania, Zanzibar, and Kenya, but it also starts in the clouds with Earth node operators who are able for the first time to participate in a real world telecommunications setup and actually earn rewards from that. So my belief is that together we're able to fix this problem. So the support, whatever you can do, whatever you can do to make this awareness that half the world is unconnected, whatever you can do to support this mission, it's very important. Every 1 in 2 people can't communicate with each other. Every 1 in 2 people can't take part in the world as a whole. It's of a great benefit for all of us as a planet to connect everybody and to bring a brand new world to the world that isn't online right now.
I like the mission. All right, Mickey, thanks so much for being. Follow up with you in a couple months or so, and we'll see how things are coming, and we'll bring you back. Thanks for coming by. We all appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Okay, so that's it. So I want to thank Mickey for coming by and explaining to us about the project and where things are going, and more importantly, the team. Because again, as I've stated in this channel time and time again, if you just look at the team and who's behind it, you can see not if it's just a great idea, but where that idea could actually go because of the history and the structure of the team behind it. And I think this is a fantastic project, and I will definitely be getting in at some point. Unfortunately, I live in the United States, and that's just how it goes. And then lastly, as far as for paid promotions, every time I get a paid promotion on this channel, I must tell you it's a paid promotion. I must click the box or YouTube can ban my channel. And this was not a paid promotion. I just think it is a fantastic project that can do 2 things at once. And I'm excited about it. So we'll bring Mickey back in a couple of, maybe a month or so, and just see how things are going. But again, I think it's great. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps. Consider subscribing. Also share it. I mean, if you think this is a really good project, share with the people that you know, share with the people that you might want to take a deeper, harder look at it. And that's it for today. So thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.